Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Leeds Lens. Some breaking news this morning from David Ornstein of The Athletic, suggesting that Leeds have agreed with Calvert-Lewin personal terms to sign Calvert-Lewin, obviously as a free agent, having left Everton in the summer. And it also says he's expected to do a medical immediately to sign for LUFC. Not particularly pleased about this one, to be honest. As I said on yesterday's video, there was a number of striker options. Dovbyk I really liked. Muniz, obviously, I've really liked who we've chased. But obviously, they've not been available. It looks like, obviously, Muniz is going to go to Atlanta. Dovbyk looks like it's a no-goer for whatever reason. And we're settling with Calvert-Lewin. To give you a bit of a reason why I'm not happy with Calvert-Lewin, should we just look over his goal-scoring record over the last few years? So 2024-25, 3 goals, 1 assist from 26 games, 19 starts. 2023-24 season, 7 goals, 1 assist from 32 games, 26 starts. 2022-23, 2 goals, 1 assist from 17 games and from 15 starts. 21-22, 5 goals and 2 assists from 17 games and 15 starts again. And 2021, 16 goals. That was obviously the year that he was fantastic. The year Ancelotti was at Everton, and he managed 16 goals in 33 games from 32 starts. But basically, since 2021, which is 5 years ago now, he hasn't managed any more than 8 goals in any season in the Championship, in the Premier League. But not just that. The main issue around Calvert-Lewin, more than anything, undermine this whole transfer is, with a transfer, we've already brought Nemecha in. We've got Pro, who I don't think is going to be able to cut it at this level. We needed someone who's going to be there week in, week out, playing. Look at his injury record. I'll talk you through his injury record now. 2024-25, hamstring injury, out for 100 days, 14 games missed. He had an ankle injury in 2024-25 as well. That put him out for 10 days, 1 game. In 23-24, he was out with an illness. He was out with a broken cheekbone. And again, fitness. He was out with fitness for 18 days, missing 1 game. So he missed 1 game, 4 games. He missed 7 games again, or 6 games again in 23-24. 22-23, multiple hamstring injuries. Again, missed 32 days and missed 76 days. With hamstring injuries, he also had a knee injury as well in 2022-23. But the main one that's constantly propping up with this is this hamstring injury. He consistently has an ongoing hamstring problem that he's had now for multiple years, that is constantly putting him out of times and constantly not allowing him to be in the Everton lineup. And now, obviously, I would expect probably the same with Leeds United. So the fact that we've sort of gone for this with this obvious issue with the injury record, like I'm reading the stats there, how many games he's missed due to his hamstring injury. But overall, everybody knows that he's got issues with injuries. This has been a problem with Calvert-Lewin for years. And it's the reason Everton have not taken him on. As Leeds United, we've got to look at why Everton have not taken him on. And the obvious fact is, yes, he scores goals, but they think Barry, who they brought in, obviously is a better option. But truthfully, he's just always injured. And the money he was expecting, now I expect that his wages come down, because the reported fee that he was after at the start of the window was around about £150,000 a week. Now, Leeds what we're paying that, there's no way. And I believe Calvert-Lewin in the last sort of few days, sort of weeks or so, has actually sacked his agent. So I imagine that the sort of reported fee won't be around anywhere near that. I would imagine it's less than 100k a week. But still, for a player that's constantly injured, this just I just don't understand it. And if you want to go further into Calvert-Lewin and a bit more in depth with it, I've only put this together this morning, so you've got to bear with me. But in terms of his nature in front of goal and his clinical nature, SofaScore, which is the app I use for my data, they've only calculated it since, I believe, the 22-23 season. But since then, he's had 25.52 XG for Calvert-Lewin, and he scored 12 goals. So he doesn't even, he's got every time to score 1 goal, he's got to have 2 XG. And if you look at every other striker we've linked with, the likes of Muniz, this is a guy who outperforms his XG. Calvert-Lewin is the complete opposite. This guy misses chances on chances on chances, and that's even when he plays. He's never normally fit. Honestly, this deal is for me, this deal's bad. It's bad. Now, there is positives to Calvert-Lewin. It's not all negative. I think his hold-up play is really good when he plays, which is a massive undermining to this. I think his hold-up play is really good. I think he runs the channels really well. He's a real hard worker off the ball, which is all stuff that Leeds United are going to need. We're going to need someone who holds the ball well when we've got to go direct at times. We're going to need someone that can run the channels well. when he's obviously up there on his own in certain games when we're struggling. That's all fantastic. And if he wasn't injured all the time, I could maybe get on board with this. But the fact is, we've got Nemecha who struggles with injuries, but I got that deal, cheap deal. I was expecting something else. And I don't know, this deal, there might be a situation where, because of what's happened with Joseph, this is just another put-me-on transfer, and we're also going to buy a Dovbyk, or we're still going to chase for Muniz, or etc. That could be the case. I don't think that is the case, though, and I think we'll obviously find out probably in the next 24 hours if that is the case. My personal opinion, that's probably not the case. And if that isn't the case, and we actually are relying on Calvert-Lewin, Nemecha, and Pros our front three, that is a dreadful front three in the Premier League, in my personal opinion. No offence to any of them players, but in terms of when you look around the league at what other teams are going to have, like even look at Brentford, they're going to lose Vissa, but they're bringing in Calma-Wendo. Now, I know he obviously rejected Leeds, as we obviously went in for him, as been rejected so many times now, which is probably why we've ended up on Calvert-Lewin. But I'm looking at Brentford thinking, well, their number 9's better than us. Or their attacking options are better than ours. They've got Kevin Schade, etc. there as well. They've got Fabio Carvalho there as well. And they're one of the worst teams I could pick out in the division. As I said, this for me, this just cannot be our starting number 9. And yes, it can be at times if he's actually going to play and he's going to be fit, then that's okay. But with this hamstring injury that he's constantly had over the last sort of 3 to 4 years since that fantastic season he had under Ancelotti, I just don't see how we can trust that we're going to get anything out of Calvert-Lewin, to be honest, even on the pitch. And even when he does play, as I said, in recent years, because he's been so in and out of the team, he's never built up any consistency, and his XG conversion rate is absolutely abhorrent. As I said, 25.52 XG in since 2022-23 season, and he's got 12 goals from that, which, as I said, is you need over 2 XG per goal. And when you look at around the league, as I said, the strikers we were looking at, the likes of Muniz, the likes of Dovbyk, these guys are clinical finishers, or relatively so clinical finishers, going at sort of, Muniz constantly overperforms his XG, so if he has 1 XG, he might get you 1.2 goals on average, for example, something like that. But I don't know. I just, it just screams panic, doesn't it? It really, really does scream panic. And it screams panic, and then it screams mistake. And the annoying thing about this, with the sort of the panic and the mistake that I think we're potentially going with this, is that I don't think we're in a need for a blatant panic right now. I know around the fan base and online, there's probably a lot of noise at the moment around panic, and that there is panic going on at Leeds United at the moment. I don't think we needed to behind the scenes. There's still over 2 weeks left of the transfer window. When we went up last time, we brought Rafinha in on deadline day. The best deals are the ones that you're going to have to get late in the window, which is why I thought we'd been waiting and waiting and waiting. So to wait and wait and wait to end up signing Calvert-Lewin anyway, what was the point? We might as well have signed him weeks ago and integrated him into the team. Now, obviously, his wage demands will have come down since then, because he obviously isn't valued at the price point, or at the wage per week that he deemed him at the window. So obviously we might not have been able to sign him a few months ago. I understand his wage demands have come down, but we still could have done this deal a while ago, if we're being totally honest. So I don't know. I don't know. This is a frustrating one. And this is not where I thought my second video was going to go. In fact, I'd been writing up notes before this around all the different movements, around what's going on with Dovbyk. It looked like he'd been rejected by Bournemouth. Inter Milan had rejected him. Atlanta had rejected him. So potentially there was a mover there. So to go from Dovbyk this morning to now getting Calvert-Lewin, as I said, unless this is like, Joseph's gone, we need to fill another body in, and we're going to get a Dovbyk on top of this, because this is a tier 2 signing. I'd even rather Josh Sargent over Calvert-Lewin, because at least Josh Sargent's probably got a slightly better injury record, even though he's got injury issues himself. I don't know, as you can tell from this video, but potentially I'll calm down after this. I'm recording this straight after the sort of news is broke, within 15 minutes of it. But I'm just really, really, really frustrated, is the overriding truth. And this is, if you look at this as like, in terms of a match reaction, this is not the sort of structured match reaction afterwards. This is the sort of instant match reaction. This is my instant reaction to the Calvert-Lewin news. But yeah, overall, to summarise, Not pleased with this transfer at all. Yes, I think his wages will come down from the 150 reported. This cannot be our number 9 for the year, mainly because his injury record. But even if you go past his injury record and we somehow do keep him fit, like we managed with Solomon, for example, last year, his conversion rate in last years have been horrendous. As I said, 25.52 XG he had, and he only scored 12 goals from that. For a team that's not going to create tons of chances, which Leeds United are not, we need someone who's going to be a really good, provide a really good conversion rate. And Calvert-Lewin's not that either. Even at Everton, I've got a mate who's an Everton fan, who I haven't talked for a while actually, but even he suggested Calvert-Lewin's fantastic in the air, and we know he's got these amazing aerial capabilities when he's fit. But on the floor, he's never been a clean finisher at all, ever, in his career, even when he was popping off. But yeah, I think that's something to think about. It screams panic for me. I don't think it's good enough. Maybe I'll look back on this in a day or so when I react to this more and sort of calm down around the situation. But yeah, truthfully, that's where I'm at the moment with it. But yeah, I hope you all hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for listening as always. Apologies for the sort of ranty style, but this part of this channel is me going to be reacting to the news. And if I'm not happy with the news, like I'm not with Calvert-Lewin, I'm going to have to express that opinion, which I have done today. But yeah, thanks all for watching as always. And I'll catch you probably later today for the actual transfer roundup, where we obviously talk a bit further about Calvert-Lewin as well. So if you want that, that will be coming later too. But yeah, thanks all for watching, and I'll see you later, everybody. Bye for now. Bye for